Hello and welcome to Find It. What are we finding tonight? Well, one lady that I found back in June kind of stole my heart. She is an amazing gal. I'm so excited to have her on, and we're just going to have a real candid conversation just about life, and we're going to let you know what she does, which she does work with Senator J.D. Vance, and she has a history in politics. And I saw her last night because yesterday was election day. So with no further ado, let's show her video and bring Kelli Johnson on the show. Kelli, welcome to Find It.
Hey, how are you? I feel like I just saw you.
I know. It kind of feels like we just saw one another.
Yeah.
What a big election we had. And oh my gosh, it was great seeing you and your husband, Mark, last night. It was a lot of wins and a lot of losses and a lot of shocks and all the stuff that you normally have with an election, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? We all woke up this morning. So we just regroup and we just go on and try to make it better. That's all we want.
That's right. And I loved at the end of the evening when your husband, Mark Johnson, who is our state representative for several areas of Ohio.
Yeah.
And his soothing, calm demeanor after everyone spoke about it being an election and there are going to be losses and we'll get it next time. You know, I just appreciated him so much and I had never heard him speak.
And he's got a very deep voice. Have you noticed?
It was very commanding, but
very
it protected.
Yeah, that's how Mark is. I mean, like he can, the whole room will stop and listen. And even when we're at church, you know, people, he's singing and everything. And he has that deep, can I say sexy voice on him?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no one's going to kick you off the station.
Okay. I just want to say that.
We're good. Yeah, he does.
But no, it was a good evening, but we just have a lot to work on and, you know, everybody will come back stronger. So
that's true. That's true. And I appreciate you in particular because of the value, you have a lot of integrity and you're not going to be a person in politics who fights and bickers about arguing what you know what your values are, you know the way you're going to vote, you know your party, and you're not going to bicker. You're just going to
let's face it, there's no room for bickering because our world is negative enough. We sure don't need to keep adding to it. And I'm going to tell you right there, because that made me think the very first time I met you, you were at one of Melanie. You were the keynote speaker at Melanie's Ohio Appalachian, you know, for tourism. As a matter of fact, we have an anniversary because I was in Coshocton today at that same event with Melanie and Melanie Young from, you know, Chillicothe and everything. And I just love that group. But you walked in with this bright pink blazer. I mean, girl, you was looking fabulous.
Aww.
I mean, I think you even had pink high heels on. And I thought to myself, well, that's one classy lady and I need to know who she is and I need to be friends with her.
Oh, that was fun. I enjoyed that so much. I just kind of like let it all out and about what I was doing and why. And it just feels good to kind of like, and you and I talked about it afterwards. We met and talked, got our picture together. I think I have it right here, actually, in my pink.
Oh yeah. Oh, my hair's longer there.
Yeah, in my pink. But and we chatted about, and I knew then I wanted you on the show because
you just brought so much to that meeting. And I was like, oh my gosh, who is this woman? And why have I never met her?
Isn't that crazy that we had never met until then? I mean, we obviously our paths have had to have crossed before then. Hey, Trisha Harp, she's from Oklahoma. Good to see you, Trisha. And a military gal. So thank you for your service. But anyway, I just, as you and I talked after that presentation, I was just like, oh my gosh, you had responded to some of the things I had said during my speech. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And some of those things were what we're going to talk about tonight, because wow, when you're a mom and then you transition out of, like, you're always a mom, that when the
Right.
kids get older and, like, you're doing so many things. And why don't we tell everybody, so you're with JD Vance now, but you
Okay.
were also with Portman prior.
I was, but you know how we all have that chapter in our life that sort of ends like suddenly, and like job wise, and you're like, what do I do? So
Yeah.
I mean, like, so yeah, I worked for so I worked for an event center, 450 person event center down in Southern Ohio,
Wow.
and COVID hit, and revamping their organization, and they closed, community place where everybody came for brides and proms and everything. It was great. I loved it because I'm a people person, so I was loving that aspect of it. And they closed due to COVID, and I came home and I told Mark, I said, oh my gosh, the wind just went out of my sail. I've never not worked. 14 years old, I worked at the local pool, and I'm like, what do I do? And at that time, for those of you who do not know, my husband is State Representative Mark Johnson, and he had was being redistricted into a new area, to the area he currently has now, which is I'd say half of Ross County, all of Vinton County, all of Hocking County, and a little bit of Perry County. Best area. I mean, how could you go wrong with Hocking Hills?
Oh, it's a magical area. I was just there a
Yeah.
couple weekends ago. I
Vinton,
love it.
Vinton is just as great, and we have the city of Chillicothe, and it's just he has a great area. And when they redistrict, sorry, I sort of went off the topic here, but when they redistrict Mark out of 99 reps, he got the best of Ohio.
Oh, it's beautiful. All the areas.
But anyway, I came home and I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have a job, and and he was like, do not worry about it. That calm voice.
Deep voice.
He's like, do not worry about it. I've got a new district. We've got a lot of people to meet, greet, say hello to, and get to know them. And I was like, okay. Well, that lasted about 2 weeks, because then I could only clean the house, do the laundry. And I was like, okay, I'm done with this. So I actually during that 2 weeks thought, you know what? There's a lot of Ohio that I've probably never seen, because I think we get so confined to going to work, coming home, going to, at that time, taking the kids to practices. We just don't enjoy Ohio and what it has to offer. So I actually started a Facebook travel page. It's called Traveling with Kelli Around Ohio. And I just started taking off for like 2 or 3 weeks and just going places I had never been around Ohio. And then I'd blog about it. And
I gotta follow you. How did I not know this?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I didn't tell you.
In the bio, no, I was reading about that, and I was like, how did I not know I need to follow her?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I just took off, and, you go ahead and go to work, honey. I'm
going to go
roll around. And I just kept finding the best places that I'd never been to. So I'd blog about them. And, some of the businesses I'd tag, they'd call me, or they'd message me and say, thank you so much. And some would get a lot of shares and likes, and some wouldn't, but that's okay. I just wanted people to know what was out there. So we were in Fayette County hosting a fundraiser for one of our friends, and my phone rang, and it was Senator Portman. And, and Mark and Senator Portman, I know he's not a senator anymore, but he's always going to be, when people have that title, they're always going to be that. And Mark and he have been friends for a really long time. And he called and he said, what happened down there? Why are you not working? And do you want to come and work for me? And I'm like, wow, okay, well,
of course.
I said, what do I do? Because I've never worked for a U.S. senator before. And he said, basically the same thing that you do for Mark, you just do it for me. And I'm like, I can do that.
Sure.
So there, that then, at that time, Mark was already an elected, state representative. So I had that, and then started working for Senator Portman and finished that term out because we knew he was going to retire.
Yes.
And then the November election came, and thankfully, Senator Vance was elected, and then and they asked me to stay on. So I have the whole Southeast.
That speaks volumes.
Well, I really enjoy what I do. I mean, like I get to, I have the whole Southeast of Ohio. So I have like 22 counties, and I get to meet some of the most amazing people. I get to help with, I don't want to say problems because, but I get to assist with them. And
Yeah.
it's a great area. I mean,
It is, but you do such a good job too. Like, so I started looking at your Facebook page and also all the places that you're going to support small businesses and to just be out and about, because I mean, when you're in politics, you have to stay relevant. You
Mhm.
also, and you have to meet the people so they can associate who you are. And I think anybody would want to be associated with you. I mean,
Oh,
you're kind, you're smart, you're a go-getter. No grass grows under your feet. Clearly, I see all the places that
no,
you are.
it doesn't. Listen, and Mark even says that. Oh no, we're going again. you
Yeah,
know, I mean, and it's okay though, because people need to see who represents them.
yeah,
People need to see who represents, Senator Vance here or the Southwest, or just wherever. And I think one thing Mark has taught me is you have to be accessible to people. I
yeah,
mean, you just have to be, because that's how they get to know you. That's how you build trust with them. And that's how they reelect you, and if we are doing our job for Senator Vance and people are seeing us, they're going to know that. And then
yes.
reelection will roll around.
Does JD Vance, does he live in Ohio?
Yeah, yes, he does.
And
Yeah.
he goes from probably DC back and forth like
Yeah.
every so often, probably. An office.
Yeah. It's usually they're there during the week and, and
Yeah.
home and
Yeah.
stuff.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And
So,
we all get him. I mean, like, we plan days and he'll come to the
yeah.
Southeast, or he'll come to the Southwest, or, and he's great. He has his book and the movie. Have you ever had a chance to
No,
read the book or see the movie?
no. Was he the one that wrote
Hillbilly
Hillbilly?
Elegy.
Yes. I have
Yeah.
not read that, but I will.
Yeah.
I mean, that,
I had, so I, when I would roll around to all the places, everybody, they're always trying to raise money, and they'd have silent auctions or whatever. And first thing they'd say is, could we have a book, a signed book, one of
yeah.
his books? And absolutely. So one of the times I was with him, we had gotten I said, listen, this is what everybody wants. I pulled out a brand new black Sharpie marker and these books. And I said, can I please have your signature on all these,
Yeah,
So,
sure.
so when somebody asks for one, we've got it, and they're able
Well,
to
and
raise
he
some
wrote
money.
that like back in 2006, right?
Something like that. But,
Yeah.
but the movie, Mark and I watched the movie on, I think it was Netflix or something. And I'll tell you, it's very powerful, and it's very relevant to what
Mhm.
we're going through in our world, in some
Yeah.
of our areas,
Yes.
that lifestyle. So I don't want to give it away, because I want people to go, read it or watch it. But it ends, and I always tell Mark, next time I see him, I'm going to ask him, how did this go? Which we know how it
Oh,
ended.
yeah.
He became, a U.S. senator. But I don't know. There's a couple things that I'd really like to ask him about. So.
Yeah,
But
that's incredible.
he's top notch, and he's doing a great job.
So it is on Netflix.
I think that's where we
I'm gonna look
watched it.
that up. I
Yeah.
definitely want to get the book for sure. But when I was reading more about you, Kelly, then that made me read more about him, because
Yeah.
that's who you work with. And I did read that he had written a book around 2006 and what it was
Six, I
about,
think so. Yeah.
being in rural areas, and the confinements and the things going away and people losing their jobs and the restrictions and all of that. So I definitely want to read about that and educate myself about that area too. And
Yeah.
like you said, it's happening currently all over.
Oh, I mean, that's just the epicenter of everything right now. I mean, it
Yeah.
seems,
Yeah.
we try not to dwell on it because we know it's there. So
Yeah.
let's just move on, try to, help
Mm.
it along. And,
Yeah. So
so,
the shirt you have on,
oh yeah. Isn't it great? It's the new, is it backwards
shine
for
on.
you? Okay. I don't
Nope,
know.
I see it right with
Yeah.
the right way, the correct way. Shine
Yeah.
on. So tell me about that.
So Shine On Chillicothe is a organization formed, and Yakatangi Park I've never seen it look more amazing. Each year they raise money. People are sponsors. they're wrapping trees. They've got great stuff down there at that park.
They do.
And this year I'm so excited because they have this huge Santa seat for like people to go sit on and have photos. Of course, Mark saw it and he's like, I guess we'll be there getting our picture. I'm like, I guess you're right.
Yes, we will.
We're getting our picture in that Santa seat. But so the organization does a great job. Each year they just gain more and more lights. And I laugh because Gallipolis, if you remember last year, was on the Today Show because they have Gallipolis and lights, which I'll talk about them because they're in my Southeast area. So they have a Gallipolis and lights, and they have like their whole park is, just decorated up. And we were at a meeting one time and I looked at their city manager and I said, don't worry. I said, Chillicothe will be on the Today Show one day because they're just gaining momentum.
So last year, go ahead.
No. So it's just a great organization. There's volunteers like everywhere. And I saw them tonight. They're just wrapping trees and getting decorations out and getting ready for the holidays. And it's so festive. I mean, it's just wonderful.
So I love it. I love the lights in the park. I love everything about it. I love the bridge and the water right there and just everything. So I told my husband, I'm like, I want you to go through the park and I'm going to, I want you to go really slow because I got out of the, sunroof.
Yeah.
And I was videoing it. And he's like, are we seriously doing this? I'm like, 100%. Go slow. I'm hanging out there. I'm just like, because, I didn't want any of the windows in the car to.
No.
So, and then I videoed the whole thing. Then I did my speed up and on the video and posted it because it's so gorgeous. I'm so proud of that. It just,
oh my gosh.
Downtown is amazing.
Like, I love it. It's like a little Hallmark. We could do a Hallmark movie there.
I believe, I know we ought to like throw that out there because I think that they should do it does. And people say that all the time that come in and visit.
Yeah.
Like, and especially at Christmas with the horse and buggy and the whole 9 yards.
It's beautiful there.
Everyone's like, oh my gosh, this feels like I'm inside of a snow globe or on a Hallmark movie. I'm like, yay, that's what we want.
Well, so back to Shine On really quick. I just wanted to tell you about something so your viewers can look. So, how many Christmas trees do two people really need? I mean, I think I was going through boxes and I'm like, what are we going to do with all these trees? So I'm ashamed to say, like, I'm a shopper after Christmas. I'm that clearance person who runs in the store. And if there's any Christmas trees, I'll think, yeah, I could really use that tree.
Yeah.
I'll buy it. And then I'll be somewhere and I'll see decorations on clearance and I buy them,
too.
And we're trying to like downsize because we're just busy people and we don't need all this stuff, and I said, what are we going to do with all these trees, so I'll tell you what we're doing. And so if anybody who is watching is around this area, and it was neat to see some people that are from out of state, but so I told Mark, I said, I have a really great idea. I'm just going to decorate all these trees with all the stuff I have. And we're going to put them somewhere downtown and we're just going to auction them off. And then we'll just donate all the money. Well, Mark came up with that idea. He was like, let's just donate all the money that we make to Shine On Chillicothe to help them out with, more lights or whatever. Great idea. So, you mentioned that to one person, then it goes and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So Melanie Young she was phenomenal.
She's on it, I bet.
Oh, listen, she had Ed Kuzelman, owner of Petland, on the phone. And next thing you know, Ed's given us 2 buildings to put trees in. One is right next to the poorhouse, Ben Daughter's restaurant. Nice. So you'll have to go by and see. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in that building. And then there's one across the street. And I still have one more I have to decorate. But we're just going to auction them off. And we're going to get it out there and just donate the money here, use this and buy more lights.
That's awesome. And it's really cool though, when you do go through the park and see Shine On, all the big, how they showcase who has sponsored that.
Yeah.
I love that too, where you just kind of give a little shout out to the people who are making it happen.
All the volunteers, top notch. And I love watching their Facebook page too. So
it's fun. That's fun.
So yeah. So that's the new logo.
And I love it that it's shiny. It should be.
I know. It's really cool.
I love it. All right, Kelly, let's get into how we were talking after my presentation about, so we all know now, you're really on the go. You have a high profile job, really. I mean, you're representing our senator, and your husband. So, and that's a double job because you got to be on wife duty and then you got to be on state representative duty. But, but before that and all of the stuff, right? You were a mom and you were running back and forth and doing all the stuff were you a stay-home mom?
No, I've always worked.
You've
I've
always
always
worked.
worked. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, always worked. So there 3 boys, Michael, Matthew, and Mitchell. 28, 30, 33. You have to think about it though.
Yeah.
They're awesome. They're all doing exactly what they were raised to do.
Yeah.
They're all married. They have great wives, supportive wives,
Nice.
and there's 4 grandsons.
Yeah.
So girls just were not in the cards.
Yeah, right. Well, you're
Yeah.
still the queen of the castle then.
So yeah, so they're awesome. And you remember all those days running back and forth to baseball before they could drive, baseball,
Yeah.
soccer, little league and school and stuff. And then when they got their license, it was like, yes. Woo!
Yeah. And for me, I was like, yes. And then like,
Yeah.
it's like, gosh, be careful. And you just know, you have to know. I've raised them to make better decisions, be careful, follow the rules, all that stuff. It worked out. But you do worry.
You worry constantly.
Even when they get older and they're out of
Yeah.
the house, then it's a whole other level.
Like you didn't know Matthew, or the middle one. He is a police officer in Chillicothe. So I'm sad that I didn't introduce you last night.
Well,
So
there were so many people there and so many things going on, but I'm so excited you had that picture taken.
Oh yeah, the guys and Julie and stuff.
Yeah, when all those police officers walked in, it was like, and I didn't know one of them was your son. That's so cool.
Yeah, and then they're just you just remember that life of being a mom, and then the empty nest comes.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay,
But
and
for you jumped right into something, or you had already kind of been doing something. So
yeah. I mean, I've always worked. I mean, so that wasn't that, but once they left, it's like, then they were doing their own thing. And sometimes like Matthew will text me and he'll be like, I don't know where you're, like, what you're up to. He's, or I saw where you were at, da, 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 you just, I don't know. We just do our own thing, and we go and, but
when they left and all of a sudden the house wasn't a bustle any longer, did that do something to you and your heart or your mind or
it did on the first one, but not like then it was like my heart was like, oh my gosh, they left, and then Matthew was there and then he left, and then Mitchell, I think probably Mitchell hurt me more than any, I mean, because that was the last one. Yeah. So, and then I was just like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So I don't know. I found things I found a lot of things to occupy my time. Of course, we have a Pomeranian who's 8 pounds. And like what I wish I had showed you a picture. But it's like Buster's world. We just live in it and pay the bills. I mean, like
that's how we have a mixed breed Chihuahua, but she's mostly Chihuahua.
Yeah.
She runs this joint. I mean, it's like, hey, whatever you want, girl. We're at your service.
Yeah.
Here.
Mark always has a pocket full of treats. So, at any given time, I'm like, oh gosh,
that's so funny.
I'll tell you, our life is so busy. Like, with him here or something, if I have a really long day or I have to be somewhere, or we have to go out of town or something, I don't know what I would do without my mama. I'll tell you, my mother, she keeps him all day long. She'll keep him overnight if we're gone,
I love that. That's the same with us. My mom
wonderful.
Is always the one. My parents, they always will watch her. And my mom was never like a real dog person necessarily. And my dog is obsessed with my mom, like loves her. And I think, mom's like, I know that. And she'll snuggle up on her lap on the sofa and everything. I'm just like, I cannot believe what I'm seeing right now. But it's a beautiful thing because I don't have to worry when when we go out of town, I got a babysitter.
That's exactly right. Well, my mom and I just had this conversation. I had several things to do she lives down in Portsmouth, down in Senator County, work related. So, he always just he probably has more road miles than most any dog because he's like hopping in the car, running down to 23, down to Portsmouth or whatever. And she's like, I came, I dropped him off and then I went and had a meeting, came back. We did a couple things at her house and I had to leave again. And she says, well, it's about time. And we have a routine. And I said, well, what's your routine? And she says, it's soap opera time. We lay on the couch. We both nap. And I said, well, what about the soap operas? She said, well, I usually fall asleep. I don't watch them, but we both nap.
It's just the music and it's just the noise in the background.
And he knows it's nap time. Jump on that couch with grandma.
Oh, that is so cute. I love that.
But she's but my mom is wonderful. I mean, like she's like a huge support and but she's funny. You think I'm a go-getter. She's not as much anymore. She's getting older. She's 74, but let me tell you, she still loves her margaritas.
Oh,
she drinks those margaritas.
Well, you know what? Cheers to mama.
Cheers to my mom.
I hope she sees
awesome,
this.
Though.
Oh, I know.
She's got her friends and, she loves her social life.
My mom is 82 and she can run circles around people much, much younger than her. It's, every holiday she hosts, she's just, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it makes me really happy because I feel like, wow, I just aspire to be like that, at 82. It's amazing.
Do you have to cook? Do you have to cook like Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner or anything with her, doing it?
No, I wouldn't have to. I'll say, what do you want me to make? Don't make anything. Just show up. That's how she always is. But I do, like last year and this year, actually, we're going to take my parents with us to Columbus because both of my kids live there.
Sure.
I'm going to make all the food with my daughter and we're going to try to give my mom a break this year and just let her roll in like she's done for us my whole life. So we're going to do it a little differently, but I've just been really spoiled by her. Like all of us girls, my sisters and I, we would just, whatever. At Halloween, she has a Halloween party.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. She has, she always makes something homemade, some type of soup. And so, it was chili this time or homemade vegetable soup. And it's just amazing. Like she's a great cook. So we just roll in there and hand out candy for her. And she has special like large candy bars in the back where
for the special kids.
Yes. When the kids, you can tell they put all that effort into their costume. She's like, oh, wait a minute. I got to go get you a big candy bar. And she's just amazing. She really is. And now all the way. So I feel blessed to have my mom too. Not just as a babysitter, but like,
no, I know. Yeah.
We are blessed. That's for sure.
And when I've had a really busy time, like I've been really extremely busy, she'll text me. Of course, I talk to her like 3 and 4 times a day. She's like, I forgot to tell you something. Call me.
Yeah. My mom and I do that. We'll talk and then hang up, and then the phone will ring again. It's her again.
But listen, when I call and she doesn't answer, I'm like. And then I'll call back and she still doesn't answer. I'm like, wait a minute. You have no life. I am your life. Why are you not answering my phone call?
That's how my daughter is with me.
I'm like, where are you at? I'm like, why are you not answering? You have no life. I am their life.
Yeah, that's right.
I probably feel that way with Mark too. So,
Yeah. It's like, you answer me when I pay. Oh, and then you worry though too. Like, why aren't you answering?
Why she's fallen or something, And
well, I'm going to show this picture again because this one is us at the Dance for Kids' Sake for Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yeah.
So you're everywhere. Let's just be real. Like you were there last night, you're at Dance for Kids' Sake, but then all the things I'm not at, I'm seeing you at all these places. Is that the life of a politician?
That's the life of a state representative wife.
Yes.
Well, like I told you, Mark always tells us, we've got to be accessible, but we enjoy doing that.
You look like you're enjoying yourself. I'm like, she's either a really good actress or she loves this.
No, we love the community. Whether it be in Ross County, Vinton, Hocking, or in Perry County, in Mark's area, if we go, an after event or evening or whatever, we actually genuinely, we just want to go. We want to be involved. We want to support whatever the cause is. And we just want, and it's not even politics. It doesn't have to be, they just want to be around because they just want the votes. That's not it. We just want the communities to be successful.
I feel that from you.
I mean, so when people have an event and we're able to go, now I will tell you, like our schedule can get crazy and there'll be 3 things on one night and we just have to decide, and it's hard. I mean, that we do struggle with that. Like if there's 2 things, I always laugh and say there should be a community calendar so people don't schedule events on the same day, because it's not fair to everybody. They want to attend and they want to support, but I'll tell you, we just genuinely want to do these things. I mean, and I know, and Mark will tell you, I probably don't even post half of what we do. I mean, I just try to hit the highlights to say big brothers and big sisters, the dance for kids. So people will have it on their radar for next year. Hey, we didn't make that event. Let's plan for that for next year.
Yeah.
People have gone to things that I'm like, Mark, how did we not know about that event?
Right.
And I make sure I email somebody and say, we missed this year and we're so sorry, but would you, keep us in mind or put us on a mailing list or something, because we would love to attend and support your event,
Right.
And I don't know. I think we do it because we want to. Is that part of the job? Yeah, probably. But that's not really our sole purpose.
Yeah. Well, it really doesn't feel like that from you, I don't believe. And if you just think about what you just said earlier, was when you didn't have a job any longer, what you decided to do was go explore Ohio and visit places and post about them.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what you chose to do for fun.
Yeah.
So you're in the perfect position to rep for state representative and for the senator. I mean,
well, and I get to travel in my area all around the Southeast and there's so many great things. There's great coffee. I don't drink coffee now. I will tell you, I do not drink coffee. However, I love coffee shops. They're one of my favorite things to go in because each one of them is so unique. Yeah. I mean, it has different things, but I get to go into those little mom and pop restaurants and I get to, if I need to have lunch or if I just need to grab a cup of hot chocolate or a cookie. I'm a huge sweets eater. Like,
wait, speaking of sweets, what are you doing? Were you doing?
Oh, you're talking about my brownies?
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay. So that's a whole story by itself.
What is that? What are you doing with
the brownies? Like I needed to add something else to my plate.
I know.
Of already full, but you know what? Everybody, how representatives are. Can you donate a basket? Can you, and absolutely we're going to. But, Mark and I, we'll spend $150, $200 buying stuff from around the district. Mm-hmm. We try to, whatever we buy, it made in the district, because that's the whole purpose of his area. And so we started buying all this stuff and I was spending $200 and then it goes for a silent auction at like $100. And I'm like, well, I should have just donated the $200 to the event, Yeah,
right.
Well, and so I think I was in Gallia County at an event and they have you bring a dessert. Well, they don't include, it might have been their Lincoln Day dinner or something. I can't remember, but they don't supply dessert for the meal. You have to buy the dessert from an auction for your table.
Oh,
I loved the idea. I thought that was a great idea for them to raise money, but also get a dessert, which helps them. It saves on catering because you're not supplying the dessert. So they said, make sure you bring a dessert. And I was like, okay. So so of course I, sat there and my mind was whirling like it always does, and I was like, okay, I've got to come up with something cute. I just can't take something and not have it like, be spectacular. And so I was pondering some things with Mark and I was like, okay, I can make brownies. I like brownies. I can make them. They're not hard, and frost them, put nuts in them or whatever, walnuts. And so I just came up with it's, I wish I had a picture of that too. It's a little logo. And of course it's the state of Ohio, just like the Traveling with Kelly around Ohio. It's all about Ohio. It's got a
Yes.
little Ohio, and it's got a little red star where Ross County is. And I named it the Ross County Brownie.
Oh my gosh.
So like every box, it's a brown box, and it's got a whole dozen in there. Sometimes I just do frosted. Sometimes I usually do two. I mean, like I give them two. And it's got a little Ross County Brownie sticker on it, and I give them to them. And I tell you what, people have loved them. They've raised, one time a person paid $150 for 2 dozen brownies. I'm like,
What?
yeah. And I mean, I think they're good because like I said, I'm a sweets eater. So I'm like loving them all the time. But yeah, I thought, let's be different, and let's stand out a little bit. And
I love that. Well, also, I thought it was really cute in your bio that you said when you have extra time, which I don't know when that would be. Well, wait, you do not look like a Harley girl. And I don't know what a Harley girl is supposed to look like. But you have a Harley. Do you drive one yourself?
So okay, no, I do have my license though. Shockingly enough, I do have my motorcycle license. I let Mark do all the driving. That's Mark's Harley.
Okay.
But no, he's probably, he's in there listening. He'll say, no, Sweets. No, that's my nickname. Sweets is my nickname. So he's like, no, Sweets, that's our Harley. Mark is the driver of that.
Oh my gosh.
So we just took
You're
off
the passenger.
Yeah, I'm the best passenger. Like I just am oblivious to everything going on. I'm looking at we just took off in I think it was like 1,300 miles. We rode up to Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, we stayed there, went into Canada and came back. And I learned a lot on the back of that motorcycle. A little car should not be pulling a huge camper and going down the highway.
Scary.
I know.
The side of it.
It was nuts. I'm like, oh no. People should not ride with their feet in the windshield. And I'm like, no. So like you have all this time back there on the back of the bike to critique what people should not be doing, So
what month was this? I mean, it was hot weather.
We went over July 4th. It was over 4th of July. So yeah, it was good. But it rained some, so we had to pull under a bridge, and we waited like an hour because I'm a fair weather rider because the rain sort of scares me. So
and it hurts, doesn't it? When you're going fast. And
it doesn't hurt the passenger because they're in the back being shielded by the driver. So Mark is taking the brunt of this, but we just pulled over and waited. And a long time ago when you were in high school and you were out rolling around somewhere.
What are you trying to say? A long time ago?
Well, I know it was a long time ago for me. So,
me too.
Well, maybe not so long ago, but but remember when you were out rolling around with your friends and you had to go to the restroom and there was no bathroom to go, so you just went to the weeds?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I had to do that on the highway because I really had to go and it was raining.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, I have no shame. I'd go.
Well, hey, listen, country girl can't survive. You gotta do what you gotta do. Better in the weeds than on the back of that bike.
But I know that other people say that too. They're like, "You guys have a Harley?" I don't know any other state representatives that have a Harley, but
when I read that, I was like, "Did I read that right?" Yes, I did. Okay, way to go.
But one of our best thing is after church on Sunday, we'll just come home and we can get on the bike and just go. Just take off, go get ice cream. Sometimes we'll just take off and run down to Kings Island for a couple hours, and just walk around, have some ice cream, ride a couple rides. Because when you're on a motorcycle, you get to park right up there by the front gate.
Oh, wow. Do you like coasters?
Oh my gosh. We love them. We love them.
Now I have this whole visual of you and Mark on coasters just screaming your heads off, putting your hands in the air.
He just took me to Cedar Point. About a month and a half ago, maybe it was. That's the first time I've ever been to Cedar Point. And oh my gosh, I loved it. I loved it.
Did you take the bike there too?
No, we just drove the car there. But yeah, we love roller coasters. As a matter of fact, we take off and we go to Disney right the week before Christmas. We've done it for the last 4 years. We pick a park, we go walk around, ride a ride, eat, ride a ride, and we just no agenda, and it gets us away from that political for a little time away. And you go and you just don't have an agenda and you just love life, and
I
we
love it.
do. And we
Wait
do
a minute, now
that.
I just had a visual. Do you ever ride up to an event for a political something or other on your Harley?
No, 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 but I'm gonna have
I
to
can
tell
see
Mark.
Kelly on the back holding a flag. Here you
Listen, so I can't do that because I'm gonna tell you why. He'll say that we should have brought the bike. Listen, this girl, you see this
on the
hair?
hair.
There
Yeah.
is no way, Jose, I can put on a helmet and get off of it, take the helmet off, and look respectable to represent
Okay.
Mark or Senator Vance at an event with squishy hair. I mean, come on. I mean, look at this.
Oh my gosh, that'd be fun. Well, then you'd be like, "Excuse the hair, I just hopped off my Harley." Oh my
Yeah.
god, there's some extra votes right there. I'm
There
like,
you go.
uh-huh,
I never thought of that. We might be able to use that to our
oh my
advantage.
gosh, that is, I had the whole visual going on. Here come Kelly and Mark. Look at the dream team on
No,
Harley.
no.
Kelly flying a flag behind her.
When I do tours and stuff, and I have to wear a hard hat, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
I
because
said,
then the hard hat has to come off.
listen, I know, and I always say, if you're going to take a picture, could we please take the picture
Before.
prior to putting the helmet on?
Yeah.
Or the hard hat.
You know what? I want to say, I want to ask you this, and then I'm going to ask you the question I ask everybody. I did the hard hat tour for the Hocking Hills new lodge. Have you seen that?
Oh, we stayed there.
Oh my god.
Well, we were there before it opened.
Oh my gosh. I love it because it's not massive. It's large, but it's, with having the hotel rooms in there, and it feels good. And the restaurant, did you get to eat at the restaurant while you were there?
Yeah. And that's one of the things that's right in the heart of Mark's, Hocking County. So, we get to go there for meetings, and we get to go there for events, and we stayed there. I had made the reservation prior to even before it opened.
Yeah.
And then it opened earlier, but we still kept it. I'm telling you, we had the best time. They had, at that time, they had some kinks to work out, but
Sure.
but for the most part, it's a beautiful lodge.
Yeah, I know.
Beautiful
And I
lodge.
walked the whole property, and then even up the hill where
Yeah.
there's like little cabins.
But
If you don't,
I know we're getting short on time, but I'm gonna tell you, if you really want a good meal, one of the best state park meals is Lake Hope.
Lake Hope. I gotta remember.
Yep, it's here. It's in Benton County.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, fantastic food.
Lake Hope in Benton County. Oh,
Yep.
girl, I will be trying that for sure.
And it's not far from here at all. So
Okay.
yeah.
So, I have enjoyed this, and you are just like a breath of fresh air and so unexpected. I don't know. You're just
What do you think I was, stuffy? I'm not stuffy.
no, because I didn't know you before I met you that first time, and you came right up to me and we had a lovely conversation. So it's not maybe what I expected as much as you. It's just sometimes what maybe like a senator's wife or a state representative's wife, how people think that, you're just fun and you're who you are. And I just appreciate that. That's what I want to say to you.
I appreciate you having me here. And I've just loved getting to know you.
Yeah.
Well.
We're having a good time. Like we keep, we got to keep, meeting up and have some coffee that you don't drink, so you can have tea or something.
It's okay.
But we have great coffee shops here.
Oh my gosh.
All of them.
I hit them. I go to different ones each time I'm in town.
I share the love. I
do too. And we do that for dinners and, stuff too.
Yeah. So Kelly, I always ask this question of every single guest that I have, because the show's called Find It. So in your life, whether it's in politics or not, just in life in general, what have you found that you can share with us to inspire us to find it too?
Positivity. Like I know it's a cliche. I know everybody's like, oh, you got to be positive, but I'm telling you, like I said at the beginning, this world, we've got enough negative and different opinions and everything, and that's fine, but we've got to be positive and we've got to be kind to one another. The hatred sometimes I see on social media is just it's more than, and on the news, I just can't stand it. And that's one thing that Mark and I try to shy away from, because we don't roll like that. And I don't know how people can be in in a healthy relationship, two, in a healthy place in their life, if that's all they, portray is negativity. So we always try to find the best positive in life and in anything. One, I wake up every morning, make sure I'm breathing. When I'm breathing, I'm loving life. And I look over and then I make sure Mark is breathing. And so then I'm like, it's a good day,
We both could start anew. Well, it was apparently clear to me even last night, because I don't know Mark. I'm getting to know Mark, but after his speech last night, after a few hard, tough losses, he was so positive, even in his delivery of what had just happened. So I thought, oh gosh, they're a good team. They're a very good team, because I can tell you're aligned. You believe in that together, and you're unified in that positivity. So I appreciate you giving us that. And yeah, I know what you mean. People say, I'll be positive. Well, yeah, I would rather be that than the alternative.
And I don't post negative stuff on any of my social medias at all. I mean, like, I don't even like to get on there and complain. Like some people will get on there and complain. I just don't even like to do that, because we don't need it. I mean, you just don't need it at all. So if I even think I'm going to remotely complain, I just throw a picture of the dog on there.
There you go. Yeah. Put the boss on there.
That's right.
That's right. All right. Well, I've loved this. The time
is so much
by, and I enjoy. So hang tight, because we want to for a minute or two before we totally.
Thank you so much for having me on.
I'm appreciative of you. So, but with that, everybody, I'm so glad you were here. And if you're live or watching it on replay, I appreciate you. And I will see you same time next week. Have a good night. That floats around me, keeping me safe.